Creative Crochet. I want to go ahead and welcome you all to my channel. To anyone who is new to my channel, this is a channel where I show you what I make. I do giveaways, I do product reviews, and I do different things like tutorials. Today I am doing a crochet tag. Now, I was nominated by the beautiful Marcel at OVW, which is One Virtuous Woman. If you haven't followed her yet, go ahead and follow her now. Also, if you aren't subscribed to me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that like button, guys. I truly appreciate it. Today, I'm doing a crochet tag. She nominated anyone who was a crafter, anyone who was a crocheter. So I want to do the same thing. I want to go ahead and nominate you all that crochet, who craft, who follow me, who subscribe to me. I want to go ahead and nominate you now. Now, what a crochet tag is, it's basically a list of questions just to get to know your fellow crafter, your fellow, crocheter, or, whoever does the crafts that you are interested in. It's just basically a tag to get to know them, to know who they like, who they're inspired by, and several other things. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This tag consists of a total of 23 questions. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. A lot of my fellow crocheters have already done their tags. I haven't got a chance to yet. If you don't know, I've been working on a really crazy pattern that I had to create on my own that deals with grafting and everything like that. So I'm not done with it yet. I'm almost done. I have one more piece left. So I'm going to get that done, and I'll share it with you once it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with these questions. So the first question is, how long have you been crocheting? Now, how long I've been crocheting? I've been crocheting for a total of 22 years. I started when I was 10. I'm 32 now. Who taught you how to crochet? That's question number 2. I learned from a book. When I was younger, my grandmother sent a letter to one of her nieces, and her niece ended up sending me some crochet thread and some hooks. So I learned from a book. I looked at a book and I learned. What's your favorite hook size? That's number 3. Sorry, I'm doing it backwards. My favorite hook size now is J. I used to really love H hooks because that's the only hook I would use. I would make a lot of beanies. Mostly all my beanies consisted of a 5mm or H hook. And now every pattern I'm doing is consisting of or requiring a J hook, a 6mm hook. So I think I've been loving J's lately. What's your favorite brand of hooks? My favorite brand, I'm going to have to go with, I don't even know. I think my favorite brand is Boy. I do have clover hooks, and I do have like a generic clover, and I really kind of say Boy just because I like the size. They're kind of true to size. But for feel, I definitely love the feel of the clover hooks and my generic clover hooks. I love it because there's a rubber tip, ergonomic tip. I definitely recommend ergonomic hooks. Once you start using ergonomic hooks, it's a difference when you go back to just the aluminum or the steel because of the feel of it, and you're not pressing that hard, metal into your hand. So I definitely recommend ergonomic. What's your favorite yarn? My favorite yarn, I don't know. I think I like the basic yarns. A lot of people are like, why do you like those basic yarns? But that's because that's what I've always used. I've been branching out with different brands, but I think my favorite yarn is like any size 4 yarn. I don't know if I have an exact favorite, but if I do, it's probably Red Heart. A lot of people are like, why Red Heart? Because I always shop at stores where there's always Red Heart at, and it's always there, and I end up getting some ombre, I end up getting some stripes, I end up getting something, so I'm going to have to say Red Heart. What's your favorite pattern? Question number 6. What's your favorite pattern? My favorite pattern, I don't know if I have a favorite pattern, but if I do kind of have a favorite pattern, I probably have to say this poncho that I'm wearing. It's by Crystal from Bago de Crochet. And it's a YouTube tutorial, so it's called Mesh Poncho if you want to go there. And it's super simple, but I have made so many of these, so I'm going to have to say this is one of my favorites. Let's see. Who's your favorite crochet guru? Now, this is a hard one. I have so many I follow for over the years, especially like OVW who created this tag. I'm going to have to go with Crystal from Bago de Crochet. Maya Luna, she does awesome work. Radiance from Chasing Sun Rays, she's awesome. Fast Crochet, she's awesome. One of my awesome friends, Jessenia, she's awesome. From Simply J's, her work is just, she can look at something and just create it, and sometimes it's even better than what the picture is. I have so many. I can go on and on. I tried to think of everyone. I have just so many. A lot of my friends, I have Christian HTC. She's off the chain. I have so many people that I love their work. Taylor Lynn, Crafty Concept, Jennifer, Crochet by Jennifer, a Crochet Simplicity. I have a lot of favorites. So, I have so many. I can't even think of everyone right now, but those are just a couple of them, guys. I'm sorry if I didn't name everyone. I have so many. Let's see. What am I inspired by? I think I'm inspired by just like different people's pictures. I don't know if it's exactly a certain thing, but I think I'm inspired by, I don't know if what am I inspired by? I guess I'm inspired by just fashion. If I see certain things that are new, I want to kind of create something that's going on with the fashion trend. I have a lot of people who don't do things that are with everybody else is doing. They kind of do the opposite. And I don't know if I guess maybe I'm a follower. I don't know if I'm a follower when it comes to it, but I like to see what's hot and I like to make what's hot. So that's one thing that I enjoy doing. What do you use for a stitch marker? Well, I definitely use stitch markers, but if I don't have them on hand, I will use strand yarn. But a lot of times, depending on what am I making, if I'm making a larger garment and I know that stitch marker is going to hold pretty well, I'll use that. Or if not, I'll use a strand. But I definitely like to use stitch markers just because I used to not use them. And then I ended up ordering some and then I fell in love with them. So yeah, stitch markers I love them. Especially the kind with the clasp. Remember to get those that kind of snap in place. What do you use for, oh, I said that. All right. Question 10. What's the highest price you've paid for one skein of yarn? Now my city, my town is kind of like a little cheaper town, so you don't really see a lot of expensive yarns here. I don't really have, I've never ordered any yarn, like hand-dyed yarns yet. So I think the highest I've ever spent was $10. I think I'll probably invest in, some of the handmade yarn soon, but the highest I've ever spent was $10. How many times have you done a project? This is question 11. How many times have you done one project before you got it right? I'm gonna have to say 10. It was the first time I ever learned how to do beanies, and I was making a minion hat for my son, and I frogged it 10 times. And my husband kept saying, "Why don't you just keep going?" Like, it didn't seem like it was curling enough. It didn't seem right, because some people I was reading certain things about patterns and about hats, and they were saying that it wasn't supposed to curve early, and mine was curling too early, and I was thinking, like, what am I doing wrong? So I was just frogging it. I frogged the hat so many times the yarn kind of got worn. By the time I actually made the hat, it was kind of like the yarn had been, you can tell that it was frogged several times, so it was just like mangled a little bit, but I learned how to do it and I got it right, so I just had to keep going. So it was definitely 10 times. Question number 12. Do you know how to read patterns? And yes, I definitely know how to read patterns, as well as I know how to write them. And I learned how to read patterns just because I started off from a book. So I never started off with YouTube or anything like that, because I'm a little older. So I started off back in the days with the books and the, instructional pamphlets and all that stuff. So yes, I know how to read patterns. Question number 13. How do you feel when you're in a yarn store? Express your feelings. When I'm in a yarn store, I kind of get excited. I know some people are like, I don't get excited anymore, but I still do, just because I like the different colors and different textures and all that stuff, especially like if I'm in a yarn store. If I'm just in like, a department store with yarn, that's something different. But if I'm in an actual yarn store, I'm just ready to go and look. I'm ready to just, feel. I'm ready to have some fun. So I get excited. I definitely get excited. What do you have? Question number 14. Do you have a lot of yarn but still feel like it's not enough? Yeah. I definitely have a lot of yarn and I still feel like it's not enough. I still feel like I have to get more. I have to find sales and order some, or I have to go different places and try different yarns. Because there's always new yarn out. So it's always that issue. It's just like technology. There's always a different advancing that's going on. So if you don't advance with it, you're going to be with the same, the older yarn. So I like to kind of recycle and, get the newer things that are out. And I'm also a hoarder, so I definitely like to collect a lot of yarn. Okay, question number 15. Do you think you're a yarnaholic? Yeah, I definitely think I'm a yarnaholic, because I like to collect it. I like to have plenty of it. I like to have plenty to choose from when I'm working on things. So I need to get something to store it in. That's what I need to work on now, but I definitely am a yarnaholic. Question number 16. Have you ever freestyle crochet? Yes, I have. There's been times where people wanted me to make certain type of hats or beanies or outfits, and I couldn't really figure out how to get a sleeve a certain way. I couldn't figure out how to get a face on a beanie the certain way. So I was like, you know, it looks like I can increase here, I can decrease there, and I can figure it out. So yes, I have freestyle. 17. Express how you feel when you are counting in crochet and someone interrupts you. Oh my gosh, when that happens, especially if I'm working on something when it's a long chain involved, it's different if I'm working on something with a small chain. But if it's a long chain and someone just like starts talking, singing, turning the TV on, and I gotta get a little like perturbed, and it's like, okay, well, I start counting louder. So I don't know if you guys do that or not. But I find myself, if someone starts to turn stuff, I'm like, 16, 17, 8. I start to let them know, like, I'm in the middle of counting here. So that's one thing I do to handle that. But I do kind of get a little perturbed, a little annoyed by that. Question number 18. Do you dream about crochet? I definitely do, especially with this pattern I'm doing now, this blanket I'm working on. It takes so much out of me. I have to do so many different things and using graphs and all this stuff. So I've definitely been dreaming lately about crochet, about how to do this graph, how to make it go faster, what to do, how much yarn it's going to take. I've been dreaming heavily about crochet lately. 19. Do you drive in crochet? No, I don't drive in crochet, but I do sit in the passenger side in crochet. 20. Do you crochet at work? Well, crochet is my work. It's my full-time job, so I do crochet all day. 21. Do you dislike it when you have a simple pattern, but it's hard to follow due to the way it's written? Oh, yes. That's why I think I started writing patterns, because of some of the patterns I see that they can be written a lot better, a lot better with the written stuff. They can, be more descriptive. So I definitely try to write them as best as I can, because I try to write them the way I would like to read them. So yes, I can see a pattern that's super simple, but it's like, it's like, oh, crochet here, crochet there, crochet till it fits you. I'm like, okay, can I get a little bit of can I get a couple, let me know how many stitches should be at the end of this row. Let me know, give me some inches, give me anything, instead of just saying, oh yeah, crochet until it fits. I'm like, okay. Is this really a pattern? Really? Did I just really pay for this? Next, 22. How many UFOs do you have? UFO is standing for unfinished objects. Now, for me, I have a poncho that's unfinished. I have a blanket that's unfinished. I think those are the two things I have unfinished right now. A blanket, I have a blanket that I'm working on. I have a poncho that I'm working on that's supposed to have been done maybe a couple weeks ago. And I also have a baby blanket that I'm working on. I have two baby blankets, but one is a C2C that I'm working with OVW and an awesome group of crocheters. We're all working together every Saturday night with the crochet and craft. It's really, really fun. If you, like I said before, go to OVW. She has that. It's every Saturday night, 9:30 Eastern time. We sit together and crochet. We're doing a crochet along. We're doing the Heartthrob blanket by Marley Bird. So that's one of the unfinished objects I'm working on, along with a poncho. It's going to be like this. It's all black and it has a shimmery yarn that goes with it, a sequin yarn. And then I have a blanket that I'm going to show you that has the different pieces, the bobble blanket or popcorn. So you'll see that. Now the last final question is 23. Do you travel with your hook and yarn? Now, I haven't traveled on planes or anything, but I do a lot of car travel, and my crochet goes everywhere I go. And people are like, why do you take that everywhere? Yeah. Yep, everywhere I go, you're going to see me with my yarn and my crochet. If I have any downtime, especially if I'm working on a project, and I know I'm going to need that extra time. Sometimes you go somewhere and it takes a little bit longer than what you would expect. You might go to an appointment and you think you're going to be sitting there for like 10 minutes, but you end up sitting there a half hour and you're like, wow, I could have brought my crochet and I could have got maybe about 6-7 rows in. Everything counts. So I definitely, definitely take my crochet everywhere I go. So it was very, very fun making this video. I appreciate everyone who was watching. Again, you are amazing. Happy holidays to everyone, whatever holiday you celebrate. If you just celebrate spending time with family and friends, happy holidays, happy times to you all. So again, I appreciate you for watching. I will be creating more videos soon. Again, next month is another giveaway, so I'm happy about that. You guys make my day. So until next time, love ya.